Hey, Gutbox here. So, the Madden 21 beta is back. People figured out how to get around it and get back onto the beta. So I was able to do that, was able to play it for an hour, getting my thoughts on the updated Madden. Really big shout out to D-Money. Smart dude figured this out, put it on his Twitter. I'll link his tweet that has this in case you don't understand what I'm going to say on how to get this downloaded and play it. Yeah, OG basically had him on the podcast, so go ahead and give him a follow. I'll link his YouTube in the description too below, as he's got a video, I believe, over there on it now. Also, so let's go through my thoughts. Actually, let's go through how to do it. So you basically had to have the game still on your console. This works for Xbox and apparently works for PlayStation too, so you got to go to it and you got to uninstall it. So go through here, hit the uninstall button. Mine says resume installation because I'm not done with it yet. I paused it for this video. So you go to your, then you go, once you uninstall it, go to your full library, all own games, and then you go down to the demo, right? And I got a couple. I think it's the M. I don't remember the exact initials, but it's one of these things. Maybe it's the MGF. If you only have this year's beta on it, it wouldn't be a problem. So you go to your full, you download it, and then it'll go to your queue, and it'll start updating. At 25%, you can play a game, Chiefs versus Ravens. You play that, and I haven't done this part yet. Get to 98% to install. I'm only at 92, and I paused it. 98% according to D-Money. If you boot it up there, you then go to a screen, wait for installation to complete. You click the button, you go directly into franchise. If you go anywhere else except for franchise, it'll ask for a code. So that's basically what you do to get in there, to play the games again, to get into franchise, see that stuff. So check his channel out if that didn't make any sense. But definitely also check him out. Just cause he brought it to the community. So I want to give my thoughts on it, right? Let's go to it. Thoughts on the update. I was able to play it for an hour. Okay, so I feel like Madden 19 ball carriers, it's basically Madden 21, right? Madden 21's acting a lot like Madden 19. I can say that sentence a little bit better. Because I feel like when you go too far on the thumbstick, if you make micro movements, it's pretty good. Micro movements, you can still swerve really nice side to side, but like if you go a little bit too far, you kind of get stuck in like a go back and forth type deal, and it's like really like delayed, and it doesn't feel good on the thumbstick, right? The guys don't really like, unless they bring back, unless, you know, change a direction, which they brought in this year, which kind of makes that same way, makes users a little slower, although users are better now than they were in the beta. It kind of like, it slows you down a lot, and it doesn't really feel good out on the field still. So it's sad that, you know, 21's feeling 19, but stop and go is going to be back, so that's going to be, I think that's the thing you really want to work on and learn early on in the game, how to do the stop and go and kind of get away from defenders that way. You could also swerve out defenders, like I said, with those little movements, because you can move and change direction a little bit. They added that breakdown feature this year, which helps against it, but I still don't think they have as much agility on defense to kind of keep up with how quickly you're moving at them, especially with guys like Tyreek Hill and faster players. They're just not able to be quick enough to catch up to you and change direction in order to try and tackle you. So I still think swerving out defenders and stop and go are going to be like the main two moves, at least at high end of play next year. I want to say Jukes felt worse. I don't know. It's hard because I played the beta, you know, a couple weeks back, but Jukes, you know, it really slows you down. So maybe you'll be able to beat one guy, but you really do lose a lot of momentum when you try the juke. I do feel, I didn't use Truck much, but Truck is back on the right stick. I believe Jurtle will be left stick and Y now. Users are definitely better than the original beta. Users took not like a huge, but a decent notch up. They're nowhere near as good as 20, but they are definitely better than they were in the beta. So users are better. So I kind of like it, kind of like the midpoint of what we had to where we are. I kind of like that. We'll see as cards get better attributes, how crazy users are, especially with Lurker. But I do think users, it does feel a little bit better. You'll be able to cover a little bit more ground as a user, but you still won't be able to like god tier stop and go like you can in 20, which I think is the thing that they need to get rid of, and they did. Swerving is back for wide receivers. You know, we saw a little bit of the swerving in the beta. You know, you saw my notes up here. Obviously, I don't have as many notes because I only played it for an hour versus the beta, which was, or earlier beta, which was more hours. But swerving, yeah, I think that's a good thing, actually. As long as it's not that downfield swerve and catching between three guys swerving, because that stuff is ass. That should not be a legitimate strategy. Sadly, in 20, how bad this game is, it is. But it is, you can swerve and get body position for wide receivers a little bit easier than the beta, which I think is an amazing change. That's good, because players should be fighting for body spots. That's what they do in real life. You should be able to click on and fight. I still think the corner routes and flat routes are too powerful versus defenders. Like, when I mean powerful, like the corner routes, In real life, if a corner route's headed at a deep safety, a deep third, with no one clearing him out, that deep third's going to kind of mirror that corner route. It don't happen right now. You can still throw those at a deep third, sadly, or at least some corners. Some corners are bad corners. Some corners are good corners. You know that if you played Madden for a while. Some routes are just better than others because there are some really ass corners in the game. So that's what, yeah, chuck stick back on the right stick. Jurtle, I talked about that. Offense, I still think offense is significantly easier than defense. Defense is going to be weird. I guess a computer, you can run like a man blitz still. The computer does, I tried the punt, the field goal block, the punt man D. Computer didn't buy my bullshit. So sadly, I think that is gone. Unless something crazy happens, we'll have to find some other solo D. But I do believe, I know they specifically mentioned mid blitz. I didn't try out mid blitz, but I tried the 3-4 odd, or a 3-4 formation. It wasn't odd, but I tried the 3-4 man blitz, and it was fine. Stopped the computer more than I didn't. So we'll see what that happens, if the computer gets better. I was playing on all pro. All Madden might be even deadlier. Speed is still the most important attribute. It's not even close. Still, Lamar with Escape Artist was significantly better than Patrick Mahomes with Escape Artist. So they definitely took a huge nerf bat for that. Like last year on launch, Escape Artist was 99 speed, right? We saw like Chaos testing this. He got out there, and a guy with 99 speed with Escape Artist was the same as a 90 or 82 with Escape Artist. They're just with the same speed. This year, it's definitely different, which I don't mind. Like the thing is, I saw Patrick Mahomes almost get chased down by 72 speed Calais Campbell. And he definitely moves a lot slower behind the line of scrimmage. Whether you like that or not, that's for your decision. But that's just how the game plays. I don't mind it at all that players aren't unrealistically fast, but I don't think 84 speed or whatever the heck a speed is in the 80s should be chased down by a 72 speed lineman that easily. Film study is gone. I know a lot of people hated that thing. There was actually a lot of mixed opinions. I saw a lot of like love and hate online for it. I was interested to see, like, my suggestion or if they were going to keep it, it was to bring it up to 4 instead of 3 to give every, like, one more play with their favorite player, whatever it is, their clutch play. Because I do feel like play spam is a big issue in Madden. And really, I hope they can get the gameplay to a place where, hey, there are counters to certain plays. Sadly, we've never seen that, though. So every year they take a step forward, but they're not quite there yet. So with the film study, it was kind of like a hacker on until we kind of get to that point. Basically, hey, you can't spam stretch out of the same formation. You can give us the Oakland Tour and spam a lot of different formations. You can spam dive, though. But apparently that's no longer a thing. So sadly or happily, film study it got canceled, right? It was Bill Cosby. So QB contains. I think this is the film study it is what it is. I kind of wanted to see what the meta would have been like with people running a whole bunch of different plays, but it's gone now. So I pour one out. QB contains can destroy, like having a running back just straight up pick up a QB contain and the QB contain forgets what his job is. I think this is horrible. This QB contains need to work even if a running back picks him up. I don't understand why a 200-pound running back picking up fucking Reggie White or whoever my defensive end was at the time. I don't understand why running back just doesn't get fucking destroyed. I know I wasn't running with Reggie White, whatever, but like I'm guessing it will act the same no matter who the defensive end is. QB, because that's just how Madden coding works. Running backs should not be able to pick up D linemen as effectively as they can. And especially QB contains. Like, QB contains don't have to shed a running back picking them up, but they should contain the quarterback inside the pocket. Literally their job. Because right now, I still think the meta, unless pocket passers get a hot route master at the start of the game, I know Tom Brady will. I still think Escape Artist Lamar, that card that everybody gets for free with the $100 version, or if you pick up the base elite Lamar, it's gonna be kind of a pain early on in the game. It's gonna be fast. Contains aren't gonna work if you just have a running back blocking. Terrible. So playbooks are also the same as beta. Those haven't changed. Those are my thoughts. Overall, the game now is slightly better than the game was during the beta, but we'll see at launch. I mean, it's just seriously just playing a game against two teams, and it's, there's a lot of holes in those teams. Tyreek Hill's overpowered, Lamar's overpowered, so there's a lot of balance issues. I know it's just the regular NFL, and the regular NFL has their balance issues. That's why some teams go 14-2 and some teams go 0-16. But that's what it is, right? It's not the game that we'll play with Mutt. It's regs, right? And regs are fucking terrible. Some people love it, though. So, no judgment. I just don't. Those are my thoughts right now. Everything else, the beta, unless I, specifically mention something different, let's see what else. Something are different. Like, some of the zones still have issues. Man coverage was definitely more effective than zone coverage. at least against the computer. And what I found going against it, man coverage stuck to it a lot better than zone coverage. So there you go. Those are my thoughts. That's how you get in the beta. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching Call to Action. I'll see you tomorrow.